Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Spot Connection with our rundown of the second month of the Marvel event, Absolute Carnage. So, in month one, Carnage killed a whole bunch. Carnage dug up the bodies of a whole bunch of people who had codexes in them, and obviously removed said codexes, including, excuse me, the late General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, aka the Red Hulk. Venom and Spider-Man basically kind of said, "Hey, we got to work together to make sure Carnage doesn't, summon forth Null to end the friggin' world." And Venom introduced Spider-Man to the Maker, who was, making a machine to remove symbiote codexes from former symbiote hosts. And while he did have Normie Osborn present, Spider-Man preferred that it be tested on someone that, didn't have a whole life ahead of them and wasn't, basically an innocent bystander to all of this. So they went to go rescue Norman. Well, Carnage showed up and they just dropped off symbiotes with all the other Ravencroft inmates. They all got loose, and yeah. He also went out. Then Carnage sent symbiotes after Venom, or after Deadpool, when Deadpool arrived at Ravencroft looking for treatment at the behest of Spider-Man. The Scream symbiote ditched the corpse of Donna Diego for, I actually do not remember the woman's name, but it's mentioned in Scream number 2 as well. And while fighting the Scorpion, Miles Morales was ambushed by symbiote goons and who were going after Scorpion. Venom interceded to save Scorpion, but Miles got captured and turned into one of Carnage's symbiote goons. And and the other 4 Life Foundation symbiotes attacked the Maker at his base, but they were held off, largely by the Maker. Okay, so we start off with a prequel one-shot. Actually, a couple prequel one-shots. First off, we had Symbiote of Vengeance. In this one, like I said, this takes place before Absolute Carnage number 1. And the whole thing is that Carnage is going after Alejandra, who was, let's see, let's give her full name. Nope. Basically, Alejandra, who was Ghost Rider a few years ago. She's the second most recent person to be Ghost Rider after Robbie Reyes. And she actually got involved with the her symbiote stuff comes from the same story as Red Hulk's. Circle of 4. So Carnage is showing up looking for her codex. Johnny Blaze sends Danny Ketch. The two team up against Carnage. However, Carnage manages to kill Alejandra and rip out her spine, and then take the Codex, and then turns into a fiery spirit of vengeance. Alejandra goes to hell, and they do what they can to help out. And she possesses one of the locals, and who then helps to save Danny from being killed by Carnage. And then the cult makes their way back up to, makes their way towards New York. Next up was Absolute Carnage, Symbiote Spider-Man. So this kind of brings up a small bit from the backstory of the symbiote. After it initially escaped from the Baxter building, it found some tourists walking around New York, bonded to him, swung around town a bit, and then basically get back to Peter Parker's apartment. So this follows the tourist. So years later, he's been for the parole board. Turns out what he did was he accidentally killed he used to be a judge, but he accidentally killed a officer of the court during a trial for White Rabbit. And then White Rabbit caused the judge's son loved fast food, so yeah, he had a heart attack when startled by White Rabbit. And so during the trial, he pulls a gun on her, and it goes off in the scuffle. Stenographer gets killed. She escapes. He goes to prison. Yeah. But then Carnage shows up, kills him, and takes the Codex, and yeah. So the next up was Lethal Protectors 1 and 2. Now, technically, Lethal Protectors number 1 came out during month 1, but the shop that I frequent didn't get them in on time, so. Well, the regular cover, I couldn't afford the variant, so. Basically, Misty Knight is a prisoner of Carnage and his cult, thanks in part to Man-Wolf. She manages to get away, and use a cell phone to call Iron Fist and let him know what's going on. Iron Fist is about to enter the sewers on his own and sees all the symbiote wrapped goons, and he's like, okay, we'll get some help. And so Cloak, Dagger, Morbius, who else? Let's see. Cloak, Dagger, Morbius, Deathlock, and Firestar, who all worked together back during Maximum Carnage, get together. They're going to go on a rescue mission to save Misty Knight. Also, the mother figure of the Carnage family in Maximum Carnage, Shriek, is sacrificed as the host to become a host for the demon that is best known as Demogoblin. That's now going. They're now going by Demogoblin. But yeah, Scream. So okay. Patricia Robertson, who was former host of the Mania symbiote, is the new Scream host currently. And they went after other host of the Mania symbiote, Andy Benson. And so yeah, Andy and Scream duke it out. And finally, Patricia basically rips the spiral part off of her forehead to be free. But so yeah, the idea is that we get kind of a okay. Here's basically what happened, and then we're gonna have to go save the day. We also got a nice panel reference to the cover of Amazing Fantasy number 15. But yeah, the issue ends with the spiral reappearing. Scream trying to get Andy to run away, but then Carnage shows up. So yeah, that's gonna be alright. Then number 18. Yeah, this was kind of this was we got the origin of the symbiote Sleeper, who had saved Dylan and Normie from the Life Foundation symbiotes. But while he's explaining his origin, Maker stuns him with a sonic weapon. And more we're starting to get the idea that maybe, since Venom's Eddie Brock's ex-wife wasn't amongst the dead that were found, the mass grave found in issue 1. It's starting with the idea is that maybe the symbiote code she had just been actually passed on down to Dylan. And so Dylan and Normie try to escape and end up figuring the best thing to do is free the symbiotes, who then go after Maker. And then they all bond with Maker. During the escape, well, turns out Spider-Man brought some help. The Avengers. Namely some of the ones that had past experiences with symbiotes. Miles Morales number 2. We got most of Miles Morales number 2 is a back and forth between the symbiote and Miles, both vying for control. Carnage sends out Miles to go kill Jameson and sends another symbiote with him. One of them was from Ravencroft, and Miles manages to get free, and then starts to break the control on the one with him, Dan. But Jameson has managed to chase them to the roof and shoots them, and Jameson and Silver Sable, and it undoes all the work that the two had been putting in to regain control. As for Absolute Carnage number 3, this is where we're going next. We get a brief visit with Miles and show him when he first turned into a symbiote. Venom has the opportunity to potentially kill Norman Osborn, and the symbiote tries to take it, but Eddie's putting the focus more on saving Scorpion than killing Carnage. And sadly, he's unable to save Miles, but he does manage to save Scorpion. Shows up at the Maker's lab, and oh, hey, the Avengers are here. And the Maker's gone. But amongst those present is Banner, who is helping out. However, while they're waiting and getting all the codexes out of people, Cletus shows up having shapeshifted into Eddie. Eddie shows up and realizes he needs to protect Dylan. So the symbiote says, "Okay, you know what? No, we're going to take the shot." And so the Venom symbiote bonds with Bruce Banner. Carnage, not knowing who Bruce Banner is, stabs Banner, seemingly kills him, and then gets punched. And he makes the point of noting that he felt that hit. And Hulk simply says, "We are Hulk." Amazing Spider-Man number 30. It's a fight between. You got various things going on. You've got Kindred looking in on Osborn months later. No, yeah, okay. Or months earlier, I should say, and Peter fighting Carnage while flashing back to dealing with Norman dealing with the costume, dealing with the Osborns and the other symbiotes, and yeah. But the modern stuff in the issue basically ends with Osborn standing over Spider-Man having beaten him to hell and back. And finally we had Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool number 2. Basically, Deadpool has a bunch of Ravencroft inmates sent after him, and, well, he manages to take them, at least most of them, down. And, well, he destroys one of his safe houses, talks to Spidey about everything. And yeah, he makes a mess of the possessed bad guys, and then yeah. But then Norman shows up being, well, Norman. Well, actually being Cletus, and, well, yeah. So then that would probably go there. But yeah, that was month 2 of Absolute Carnage. This month we'll round out most of it with the finale hitting next month as well, and this month, and then also next month there will be some additional one-shots involved. Anyway, that's it for now. The weekly comic book roundup might be delayed this week by a day. We'll see. I'm weighing options at the moment. Anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put new content. And as always, this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.